Gentlemen, it is now 6 p.m. on June the 27th of 2024. This is our regular city council meeting. Please mute your phones and computers to avoid any interference during this meeting. Meetings are also available to watch on our YouTube channel. Search for the City of Bruceville-Eddy and click the subscribe button. All right. Thank y'all again for being here. We appreciate everything that y'all, every time we see people sitting out there, we appreciate it. You know, some days we're full, some days we're not, but we just appreciate the ones that come. If y'all would please stand for our prayer, please. Lord God, we pray that you will bless this meeting. Help us have fun, yet productive decisions that will broaden our perspectives. Help us to take the various ideals presented and think of ways to flesh them out. If we do not disagree, or if we do disagree, let it be on the content and not personally conflicts of power plays. Help us to resolve and dispute gracefully, be creative problem solvers, and have great team spirit. Help us to find principles that we all can agree on and put these into action. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. Y'all may have a seat, please. Thank you. All right. Want to introduce our council up here. To my right, we have Councilman Griffin, Councilman Prater, Councilwoman Joyce McLaughlin, and to my left, we have Councilman Wiggins and our city administrator, Kent Manton. And our one guy is he's in California right now, and he's usually here with us, but he's out for the next couple of days or so. He'll be back in July, right? Okay. We have our chief, Dorsey, in the back. We have Walter Nelson. He is our code enforcer / Heinz 57 of everything. I mean, his job title has a lot of different things that he's going to be working with. We have Gene Sprout in our water department. He's over all that. We have Pam Cones, our city secretary. And we have Jamie Rodriguez from our water department. And I think that is all that we have. So thank y'all all for being here, guys. Appreciate y'all. You know, we couldn't do this without them, let me tell you, all of them. Okay, community announcements. Do we have any? Okay, yes ma'am. You want to come up to the mic? State your name.
Hello, this is Danny McGruer. Just want to remind everyone, I know it's on the board, but on July 5th, the first Friday, we're going to have bingo at Bruceville-Eddy United Methodist Church. This month's theme is 4th of July. So it should be a lot of fun decorations, and the mocktail of the month is going to be the Blue Hawaii.
Good, thank you. All right. It's a lot of fun. If y'all haven't been there yet, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's nice. I like it. I enjoy it going. All right, any more announcements?
I have one.
Okay, Mr. Prater.
I'd like to thank everybody that come out to Mrs. Gilmore's place and helped cleaned up after all their tree damage. I had a list and I left it at the house, but
okay.
Everybody that come out, I sure appreciate y'all.
Yeah, they done a tremendous job out there. They worked really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, any other announcements?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
The police department, I'm going to say this for you, Chief, is collecting school supplies through the month of July till August 1st, and you can take them to the police department or $20, yes, for to fill a backpack.
Yeah, or City Hall. They can
So, or they can bring them to City Hall too. So, we're helping the kiddos out with that.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Kent, do you have anything?
Yes, Mrs. Mayor, I was just going to mention that City Hall will be closed next week on the 4th and 5th in observance of Independence Day. And then just to note, our next city council meeting, the regular meeting, will be on July 25th. We are going to start that off with a workshop beginning at 5 p.m.
Okay. Any others? Okay, moving right along. Citizens' presentation. The City Council welcomes public comments at this point on items not specifically listed on the agenda. Speakers must sign up before the meeting begins. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. The council cannot respond to matters not listed on the agenda until a future meeting. Do we have anybody signed up? No. Okay, thank you. Emily, what? You're waving at me? I'm waving at you. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking, huh? What? Okay. Falls County Water Main Improvement, Phase 1, awarding contract, MRB Group. Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action on Resolution R-627-20241, selecting bids and awarding a contract for the FM Falls County Water Main Improvement Phase 1. Kent?
Mayor, council, citizens, thank you so much. Unfortunately, MRB Group was not able to join us tonight, but before you is the awarding phase of the recent bid for the FM 1239 Waterline Improvement Project Phase 1. So just as a reminder to everybody, this project does span around the corner of 1239, and it will connect a 6-inch to either an 8-inch or a 12-inch line. That will be up to your discretion tonight. And it also includes a deep bore of a 6-inch water line below Huya Creek. So before you tonight are two options. There was a bid, the lowest bid on this project for the 8-inch water line came in at $711,571,000. Option 2, the alternative bid, was for a 12-inch water line. That's just a little over $1 million project. Just to give everybody a reminder on where we are with our budget for this year, we did budget approximately or exactly $810,000 for water comprehensive water projects for this fiscal year. We have spent $136,000, almost $137,000 year to date. So we do have $673,129 remaining. We have mutually agreed that the SLRF funding grant will be applied to this project to the tune of $448,000. We were able to generate some interest while that money sat in our bank account, so all that will be applied. Current cash on hand, our water unrestricted funds, is about $2.2 million. So if option 2, which MRB Group is making a recommendation for that 12-inch water line, is selected, our grant funds, after they are being spent, that would leave us of a bill of about $600,000. So the remaining cash on hand balance for the water system would be about $1.6 million. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
We have any questions on this? Yes, sir. Let us know who you are, sir.
I'm Rick Edmiston. My question is what size line will they be tying into?
So that's a 6-inch water line that's
So you're
currently
going to
on
want to
12
tie a 6-inch into a 12-inch?
Yes, sir.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, ideally, we'd love to have run the 12-inch all the way along 1239, but you have to start and stop at some point. So the 6-inch was already installed along 1239, and we're future thinking, we're forward thinking. So instead of just installing another 6-inch line to stretch this whole project, we considered an 8-inch and a 12-inch to be able to provide for additional development in Falls County. Plus, this will also provide some additional mitigate against additional head loss on the Falls County water side, thereby increasing people's pressure is the goal.
So where does this water come from? What well is it coming off of?
It will be a mix of groundwater wells and our Blue Bonnet Water Supply Corporation, depending on which is running at the time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? Mr. Wiggins?
I don't seem to have that resolution. Do y'all have that? The resolution that it says there?
Pam, did we have that in the agenda packets this go around?
Yeah, I thought it was in there.
Sure, I can.
Because it didn't have designated what size or who it went to. It was just a resolution.
Sure, and
Okay,
there was
I
blanks
just didn't
left
see
over.
the resolution in my
Agenda
packet.
packet.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at all the material and have the agreements, but I didn't see what the resolution says.
Sure.
If you don't mind, yeah,
Would you print at least 6 copies?
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pam.
In the meantime, you know, I think it'd be because, not only because MRB recommends that, you know, we met, our group met and talked about that and had numerous of us there. And it was a consensus among everyone that it would be in the best interest if you're gonna, well, you already got the hole dug, you just, well, instead of 8-inch, you just well go ahead and put a 12 in there. You know, we talked about a 10 also, but I know it's gonna cost a little bit more money, but down the road, I think it'll be money well spent. So I agree with MRB
Yeah, me too.
upsizing to the 12-inch and the contractor that they have, that they recommended, which was the lowest bidder. I agree with, which was Southern Contractors Group LLC, and they're out of Palestine, I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
I see no problem with going with them, and I've looked at the award, and I've looked at the contracts, and to me, it all looks good, you know. So I don't see no problem. The only thing, I just didn't see the resolution. Yeah, and I just now, you'd think I'd have seen that before, but I didn't. Anyway, so I just now noticed that, or I'd have sure had that ahead of time.
All right, yeah, well, Pam's getting it for you right now, sir. Getting all of us one.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
You
any
want to
other?
wait and look at it before we make a motion?
Yes, I'd rather
Okay, that'll
see,
be fine.
you know, I don't want to
Yeah, no
make a
problem.
motion to approve something I hadn't even seen.
That's true.
Yeah.
No problem. Just
Yeah.
check it.
But what about any other council members or
Anybody else have any other questions
any,
about it or comments?
citizens or anyone have any?
Gene, do you see any
comments?
a problem with going from a 6-inch to a
Yeah,
12-inch?
what about you, Gene?
No, I don't see an issue.
No issue?
It's just gonna help further down the line.
Yeah, in case it grows big and stuff and more meters.
We're gonna do a 6 or an 8, correct?
6.
This-
6.
So we went off from a 2 to a 6 to a 2, but if they upgrade 440 with a 6, that board job is already done.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions about it or comments? Or anybody have a song they want to?
Move on to the next agenda item.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on to the next one if that's okay. Yeah, and then we'll come
Yeah.
back to it, Mr. Wiggins,
Okay.
once we get that. Okay, monitoring well request. Scooter Redcliffe.
Yes, ma'am.
Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action on a request from Southern Trinity Groundwater Compensation District to utilize the older well at Friendly Oaks site for the groundwater monitoring purposes, approval of interlocal agreements for said purpose. Yes,
Yes,
Mr. Ratcliffe.
Honorable Mayor and Council, I appreciate you letting me come before you tonight. The Southern Trinity Groundwater District was formed in 2007, July of 2007. We've been active since that time. I'm the only employee for it. We have a board of directors that I'm responsible to. We are charged with maintaining the groundwater in McLennan County, measuring it, and also protecting it and issuing permits for it. Y'all have a permit for it, which you've had since 2010, I believe, when we first started issuing permits. During my annual inspections, I've noticed that this particular well, it's a Hensel well, in the Hensel zone of the Trinity Aquifer, which is the higher of the two levels, is not being used anymore. And that would make an excellent well for us to be using, being it's in the southern part of the county. Now, that being said, there's a little bit of testing I'd need to do. One of the things I would need to do is remove this particular pipe from the top of the well. It's just a vent pipe, pretty much what it is, where you can get samples and stuff for the water. Just have to come out and unscrew it and make sure that I can get into the well, and if there's a pump and motor in it. We're not sure if there is. If there is, the district would have the thing pulled at the city's convenience. And from there, we would actually set up a monitoring situation on it to where it would be used every month. We'd come out and measure the well. By doing that, we post it on the internet where you can see exactly where your water level is in that particular part of the aquifer. It's something that can be used by your water department and your engineering department. Those measurements each month will give your engineers in the future something to look at to see where the water level is in that particular part of the aquifer. That's about the only process that we have to do that. We would like to have an interlocal agreement with the city to be able to come in. I've furnished a copy of that to the city administrator for y'all's review. We can get that issued at some point in the future once we find out that everything is kosher to be able to monitor the well and set it up as such. If you were to have to plug that well, in some inspection from TCEQ, it could run into several $1,000s to have it plugged. Being it's a monitoring well, we send information to TCEQ that allows us to have it as a monitoring well, so you don't have to worry about that particular cost anymore. And with that, I just ask for your consideration on entering into the interlocal agreement.
Any questions?
Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Mr. Wiggins?
Yes, sir. If you would, just adjust your microphone a little bit.
Raise it up, there you go. Or to hold it in your hand, either one.
Yep.
So we're talking about the Friendly Oaks well. Is that,
One of the two out there. The
the
small one.
small well?
Yeah, the
Oh,
small
okay.
well. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. And you said something about, thank you. You said something about pulling it.
Yeah, if there's a pump and motor in there, in that well part of it, there's baffles and stuff, we won't be able to get a true water level reading. So we would need to actually probably remove the pump and motor out of that casing so we can get into the water level itself.
And if I understand this agreement, it's talking about the cost, so y'all would bear that cost
Yes,
for
sir.
pulling
We
it?
developed the well, we would have to bear that cost.
Okay, okay. Because it says all costs for the data collection activities to be formed by the district under this agreement shall
Right.
be borne solely by the district.
I'm sorry? Solely by the city?
By the district?
District,
No,
okay,
no,
yeah.
not city. Yeah.
I thought it
So-
said the district.
So
Yeah.
if we have to pull that well, then y'all will pay
We'll
for
pay
the
for it.
expense,
I-
any and all expenses?
Yeah, I checked with Josh Jurgensen today.
Okay.
Jurgensen Pump.
Yes,
He
sir.
said he'd come out and pull it. He can get to it probably sometime this month if everybody's agreeable. And we're
Okay.
looking probably depending on the size of the pump and motor, I believe it to be around a 2 or 2.5 inch pump and motor. He said it'd be around $1,500. If it's a 3 inch, which, that'd be kind of a tight fit in that small of a casing, it would be about $2,000. But we have money in our budget to do that.
Yes, sir. And I see there's a termination
There is a
clause in there,
termination clause.
90 days.
Yes, sir. If y'all want to terminate it for some reason, you can notify us 30
Right.
days, it's gone.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay, I'm through. Go ahead.
Mr. Prater?
I just want to know what the pros and cons to our city is for this. I mean,
Well, I don't know that the one pro I can tell you is if a TCEQ inspector comes up, and they come in, often to inspect wells in your well sites, if he finds out that the well hadn't been used in several years, like it's been sitting there, he's gonna have you plug it.
oh, okay, I got you.
And plugging that well would probably, I imagine you're looking at around $25,000.
That's-
But if we use it as a monitoring well and we pull everything out of it, then we send paperwork into Austin to TCEQ that gives us the responsibility of maintaining the well structure itself, and then we take over. They don't bother us.
Good pro.
Okay, that's a good, okay.
So with Southern Trinity, we're only allotted so much water a month to get. So if we're running the big well at Friendly Oaks all the time and Westridge, we're at that limit. So that small well doesn't pump a whole lot of water, or didn't. So it's not gonna benefit the city to hold on to it, cause, you know, it don't pump more than Westridge.
Right.
90,000 gallons a day, maybe, if that. And when you get to that Southern Trinity limit, then you gotta start paying Southern Trinity for that overusage.
I got you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No,
Okay. Mr. Wiggins?
okay, I'll make a motion that we, approve the interlocal agreement with the Southern Trinity Groundwater Conservation District.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Prater, maybe second. All in favor? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna go back now to number 4. We have the resolution in front of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give you a second to look at it there again.
The only thing I say on the resolution is, and I'll do this. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 6-27-24-1R, provided that we add, because there's blanks in this, because we didn't know who was going to be the
At the time, yeah.
award winnee, I'll say, and then the amount. So I want to add that in there, that Southern Contractors Group LLC is who the project goes to, awarded to, and the amount of the award is going to be $1,048,725.
Yes, sir. With a 12-inch meter.
Yes, that's the 12-inch.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I'll
Okay,
second.
I have Mr. Prater seconds it. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, moving on to 6. Franchise agreement with the gas company, Tammy Bowman. Council discuss, consider, and possibly take action on ordinance 06-27-2024-1, granting a franchise to Atmos Energy Corporation, Mid-Tex Division, to construct, maintain, and operate pipelines. Okay, operate pipelines and equipment in the city of Bruceville-Eddy, Texas.
Mayor, Council, this is a franchise agreement to Atmos Energy Corporation. The agreement would be for 24.5 years. The current agreement did end at the end of December 2023. This will be for 4% gross revenue collected within the city limits to be remitted annually. This remains unchanged from our previous franchise agreement. This is non-exclusive. Atmos will have 60 days following the passage of this ordinance to accept it, otherwise it will become void. This has been reviewed, amended by our city attorney's office and Atmos legal team. And in addition to that, this was an ordinance that was requested to be re-reviewed by council at our last city council meeting. And with that, I'll pass it over to Tammy for any questions that you might have.
Hi, my name is Tammy Bowman, and our office here at 1500 West Loop 340 in Waco. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have for me.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for her? Are y'all willing to do the agreement?
I mean, I've looked at the agreement, and I think with the changes that were made, well, I think it looked okay to me. So with that, I'll be Happy to make a motion for ordinance number 06-27-2024-1
Okay,
to approve it.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
Joyce, okay. All in favor? Okay, that was easy for you. Oh, do you have a question from the audience? Citizen? Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Okay, number 7, police chief report, Chief Dorsey.
Evening, Mayor, Council, and thank you to all our guests and citizens for being here tonight. Good to see everybody.
If y'all want to, Rick. Oh, you can go to my office. Okay. Okay.
We even
know
have
him.
a cute
You know-
dog in here tonight.
All right, I'm sorry, Chief, go ahead.
All right. I'd like to share our May 2024 Police Department report for the month of May. We had 110 calls for service. Report-wise, to include arrest, offense, and incident, total of 9. Criminal offense arrest, total of 6. Crash reports, total of 9. Citations and warnings, total 284. 207 citations, 77 warnings. Also for the month of May, security checks, we had 167. School zone enforcement, 18. Neighborhood patrols, 52. Directed traffic enforcement, 28. Also have our call type report breakdown and our citations and warnings breakdown. Also have our school resource officer report for the month of May, and this was for May 1st through May 24th, 2024. Calls for service 3, security checks 102, citations and warnings 0, and arrests 0. Also have a call type breakdown in my report. And then lastly, I have our city ordinance enforcement report, and this is for May 16th through June 14th, 2024. Total cases, 75. Compliant and or closed, 22. Non-compliant, 25. More time requested, 10. Citations, 18. Types of violations, total violations was 50. High grass was 36, rubbish 7. Junk vehicles, 1. Accessory storage buildings, 1. RV travel trailer, 1. Dog at large, 1. And I also have a case status and then the types of violations charts in my report as well.
Yes, sir.
And report-wise, that's all I have.
Okay, anybody have any questions for the chief?
Good job, Chief.
Y'all doing great, thank you out there.
Short and
Okay.
sweet.
Yes, sir. Public Works Director report, Gene?
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. I'm gonna just let y'all hit me with them. So we fixed 12 leaks last month and picked up a whole lot of tree limbs, brush everywhere. We burnt 3-4 times out at the shop. And, some of these leaks probably went unnoticed because of the rain. So, the figures weren't accurate, but I don't know. So, yeah, our water loss is a little bit high this month, but with the weather, I don't know. And then hopefully Water Company of America can come in and find something that we're missing. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, any questions for Gene? Mr. Wiggins?
Only thing on that water loss, with us showing a 42%, we know how much we pumped, okay? And we know how much we sold.
Right.
We know those, so those are solid figures. And so you take the difference there, and the only other thing you have is flushed or lost. So we lost more than we sold. And
Right.
then majority of the water that we pumped was bought through Bluebonnet due to our wells being down. So we lost money here.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to, and hopefully, when this other service becomes available, and I believe that maybe Kent could touch on it a little bit. What was this other membership we acquired? And when I was talking with you today about some of this, you just told me about they could come in. If we narrowed it down to of Maine, then they could come in and put something in there that say, okay, maybe this area here you might have some issues with. And maybe you could elaborate more on that.
Sure. So we do recognize that the system does have significant amount of water loss, and some of the ideas that we've brought before council include Water Company of America. They have been looking over the last couple months through all of our account billing software, and they're looking for issues where we're missing revenue. Maybe we have an accounting area or a miscoding on one of our accounts or a faulty meter. And so that should hopefully cut down on the water loss anywhere from 3 to 5%. That's our goal with them. They do have the incentive to find that lost revenue. They plan on having an initial start work meeting on July the 9th, and then they're going to be sending field crews out to research any issues that could be giving us problems in the field. Most of that will be water meters. And then in addition, council just approved that membership with Texas Rural Water Association, and they do offer several different leak detection services, one being the drone service, which would be an add-on, it'd be an additional cost. But just through their technical writer service, they have basic leak detection equipment, acoustic leak detection equipment. They can come help install master meters on, say, one line and isolate how much is going through there and how much we're losing. They can help us with those calculations, but they can put on the listening devices and kind of help determine and pinpoint where we may have a leak that has gone unnoticed for years because it's going straight into rock and not rising to the surface. So those are a couple of the avenues we're working to address this.
Yeah, okay. I think that's good. At least it shows the people out there that's listening that, we do have things in place to try to help
Right.
mitigate these losses.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'd go to Kent with it, and, it's like, it's not like we're just overlooking it. We'd be out looking for a leak, and as soon as it pops up, we can get on it, Who wants to go out there at 7 o'clock at night on a Sunday and fix a water leak? Well, we
Right.
do.
Yeah.
But, so it's not like we're just letting them leak because we don't
no.
want to go fix them,
No, I know y'all fix
They-
them when
if
you
there's some out there, we don't see them. One thing to remind everybody about, when Water Company of America comes out, they're gonna put guys out in the field. We may or may not be with them. So if y'all see a vehicle in front of your house and they've got some symbol on there, they're gonna let us know that they're with us, checking for stuff like that, just so y'all are aware. And as soon as we find out what kind of vehicles or what their emblems will be, y'all will know.
Well, that, now that you say that, it might be a good idea for us to find out about when that'll be and the time frame they're gonna be here, and then we can put something on Savvy Citizens.
Right.
That's what we do.
Right.
They plan on having a meeting, I think, the 8th or the 9th of July, and then they'll let us know when they're coming.
Yeah.
And they've got my contact, Johnny's contact, and Kent, so they'll let one of us know when they're coming, so we can pass it on.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gene.
All right.
Okay. Engineers report. Kent?
Yes, ma'am. I believe that was in council's packet, so please let me know if you have any questions.
No.
We didn't.
Should be
All
from MRB Group.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. Y'all got a,
MRB group, yeah, you got one.
oh, yeah.
It's in your packet. It's in your
Okay, I
packet.
got you.
Yes, sir.
I was looking for BRM.
I had
Mr. Wiggins.
on the engineer report,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did have something there, and maybe Kent could help out. Where are we at on options for funding mechanism for the new water well?
So at this point, we put a pin in the water well planning as we've shifted focus to the sewer system. Our engineer has thrown out the idea of potentially doing a survey for our water system at a cost to gauge whether or not we have low to moderate income levels. From what we've seen in the past, and that would make us eligible for our grant, right? That would be the benefit of doing that. What we've seen in the past is that that's not necessarily the case with Bruceville-Eddy. We're actually riding a little bit on the higher end of that LMI. So I think going that direction might be a little bit in vain. There are some adjustments to that survey data coming over the next couple months as the fall approaches, so that might change some things. We did submit a PIF to the Texas Water Development Board, basically just let them know, hey, we're interested in applying for grant funding. Do we make the shortcut? Here's what we're planning, or do we make the short list? Here's what we're planning on doing. So we may be invited to apply for a grant, but that's kind of up in the air. But with the sewer system coming online, we are stretching ourselves pretty thin on our financing. So the ability to go out and obtain just a private loan for this $5 to $6 million project, the pathway forward isn't 100% clear at this time.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Number 10, it'll be City Administrator's Report.
Mayor, Council, thank you so much. This one's going to be brief. I was out of the office last week attending a conference and a little bit of vacation, so I've got this to you orally this time. So flooding and stormwater drainage. We received quite a bit more rain this month, which we weren't necessarily expecting, but it all came in at the same time again. We received about 5 or 6 inches all in the span of one day a couple weeks ago, and it just ended up flooding everything again. So our crews are continuing to work their way through a drainage ditch improvement plan that we have established, and so you'll see them working along 3rd Street mostly, Osborne and Eagle in the coming weeks, coming months. Our sewer system. So tonight before you, we do have an agreement for the grant and the loan resolution. The grant agreement and the loan resolution. Notice of awards were issued to the bidders yesterday by Tabor and Associates, so that is moving forward. And USDA will be able to work on the loan closing instructions once they get your action from tonight. So on to our water system and public works crew. So I just got to say thank you, Gene, and the guys for getting rid of all the tires over at Hudson. They've been hanging around for a long time. We're able to get rid of just about all those with the exception of a few tires that are still on the rim that we need to take care of, but kudos to you on that one. So Water Company of America, I think we already hit that one. They are going to be starting on 7/9. We will be sending out a Savvy Citizen notification letting our customers know that they'll be out in the field. So more information on that coming. The Friendly Oaks water well was reset on June the 13th. However, upon startup, it was discovered that there was a fried component within our VFD. So our contractor there has ordered the part, and they expect to install that still this week, Gene? Is that the last we heard from them?
I will contact him in the morning.
Okay.
I didn't hear from him today. He said he would get the part today, so if he didn't get today, maybe tomorrow. And hopefully next week, get it up and Flushing.
Good to go. Okay. So once we have that, Jurgensen will come back out and help with that energizing the well site again. The Economic Development Corporation, we did have a meeting this past month. We're going to be working on reviewing and recommending some updates to the 2011 comprehensive plan, specifically with the economic development section. So that we're soliciting feedback, council. If you have any recommendations for changes to update that, please send them my way. Citizens, if you have any recommendations, also please send them their way. We're going to compile that information, and we're going to work on making some proposed recommendations to send back to council for that. WBW, this is the Fowler Land Development. This developer has requested a meeting with the mayor and I. We're going to be talking to them a little bit more about some next steps for their project next week.
Yes.
The BE Ascent Travel Center. So according to the general contractor, they have had some significant delays out there on the groundwork due to all the rain, as you can expect. However, they did pass their first inspection with Bureau Veritas this past week, and they were approved to pour their concrete footings. So that work has been done. They did also start with the rough plumbing, and they're beginning the permitting process for their underground storage tanks. They haven't finalized everything with TxDOT, but they are still working through the bonding requirement process with them. So you should continue to see more and more work going on out there. CEFCO is currently working to select a general contractor for their project. They were planning on doing that this month, and just as of yesterday, they did pay their building permit fee. Deer Creek Mud, please stop me if I've already mentioned this one here. I could not remember if I had or not. But they're working on setting up their first meeting this month. Colton was a part of that process. They did have to select some additional new members for the board. They have submitted an application to TCEQ for a brand new wastewater plant that would serve this development, and they are requesting a daily discharge of 1 million gallons per day. By comparison, the wastewater treatment plant that we're putting in the ground is 230,000 gallons per day. So just let that soak in for what they're planning out in that area. Duplexes, we did have a developer submit a rezoning request for some duplexes along Melissa Street. This proposal is on track to be brought before you on July 25th. And then lastly, you might have seen it in the news, there is a major natural gas pipeline that is being proposed to go all the way from far out in West Texas, I think Loving County or something like that, all the way to Lake Charles, Louisiana. They're very early on in their planning process for this. They're thinking at least 4 years out from any potential construction, but that pipeline would go approximately 10 miles south of Bruceville-Eddy. I could have the distance, but it's not planning on going through the city limits at this time. So with that, any questions? No.
All right, thank you, Kent, for your report. Okay, consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be considered by the city council and will be enacted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a council member or a member of the public so requests. A, approval of the minutes. B, finances, May the 2024. Council just, and that's it. That's it, just two.
There's C, D, and E.
There's three.
C, D, and E.
Oh, C, D, and E, okay, yeah. Excuse me, I'm cutting it short right there under B. All right, C is preliminary plat extension request. D, donation acceptance. E, sewer system loan resolution and revised grant agreement. Now I'm done. Okay? Does anybody need anything pulled out, or do we make a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion that we accept.
Okay, Prater, okay,
I'll second that.
okay. Joyce? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now down to 12, equipment purchase. Council chamber microphone enhancements. At the recommendation of the Budget Committee, council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action to approve the city administrator to purchase microphone enhancements for the city chambers using monies in the FY 2023-2024 budget, primarily budget line items number 10-10-6415 of the general fund. Okay, Ken?
Mayor, thank you again. So this was a request from our budget committee from last year. We're getting in the final stretch of this fiscal year, last 3 months. So we wanted to be able to bring council some of the options that we've been researching. So just for starters, we did budget $4,500 for the microphone enhancements that would serve city council, it will serve the EDC, and it will also serve our municipal court. KHT Waco made a proposal for a lapel mic system for council members and a more forgiving mic, let's say, for the public. It would be a condenser head mic, and this is over my head, right? But it would be able to pick up when you're off to the side of the mic versus just having to be directly on the mic to speak into it, which has been our challenge. Asbell Electronics, I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Asbell.
They made a proposal for a wireless gooseneck system. So this is traditionally what you see at some other council meetings or board meetings. This would be wireless. It'd come with a series of high-powered batteries, and this would service both the podium, lectern, and also the entire council dais. And we'd also have an additional one back there for the city secretary should she need to use that. This one is quite steep. It would require a new receiver to be installed in the back. Do not recommend us moving forward with that one. Little outside of our price range. However, proposal 2 would be for basically the same gooseneck system. It would be push to talk, and it would also include an adjustable. So we would keep the same microphone for the public at the front with the more forgiving microphone, but we would also have one of the adjustable bases, so citizens and staff members can quickly move that in front of their face instead of having to unscrew and adjust and pull off the mic. So that is my recommendation to you tonight, is to go with proposal 2 from Asbel Electronics. This would require a budget amendment at the end of the year.
Okay. We have any questions or any questions? Mr. Wiggins?
Who did we purchase this current microphone system from?
That was KHT Waco.
Okay. Good. And so you think that proposal that you recommended to be the best fit for us, right?
Proposal 2, yeah.
Yes, sir. I believe so. It would get us away from having to speak directly into the microphones, which would allow the folks on YouTube and also anybody who goes back and listens to a council meeting at a later date to be able to hear a lot of the conversation going on. It would require I forget what they called it, basically a raceway to be installed right here at the council dais, and that's where all the wires would go through, and they would go back up through the wall and over to our receivers. I think it would be an upgrade from where we're at today. We have gotten a few complaints here and there about the microphones, but everything considered, for our entity and for our size city, I think we're still above and beyond what a lot of folks have going on. I've seen council chambers in similar sized cities, and y'all have done a really good job of putting in place what you have. So I know that's a lot to chew on, but
Would there be any additional, like monthly or yearly charges beyond the $6,800?
no, sir, no subscription services or anything like that included. It would be the equipment and the labor to install it and get it up and running.
Well, okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all I have.
I'm sorry, Colton. I was watching Mr. Wiggins.
I have a question about all this stuff. So, the second proposal with the Asbel people, is that the one that would have the hot bar up here that they would have to wire?
It would be.
Yes.
And obviously, that doesn't have the lapel or anything. That would just be a mic that they would install for each person?
Correct. It would be stationary, and it would have an option to press the button when you want to engage your microphone and then release when you're
Right,
finished.
kind of if y'all have ever watched a senator hearing, it's the same type
Yeah.
thing.
Correct.
What are they going to do for this with the same
It would
people?
be a gooseneck.
Yeah, so it'd be an adjustable mic stand. So same microphone essentially, different head, but with a stand that has swivel to it. So it's more.
Are they actually going to mount it so we don't have this problem?
I did not ask about that.
Because I just have questions like the wire, because this is movable and stuff.
So that would still be a wireless. They did not propose wiring that microphone in.
Okay. I guess, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about it because I'm a sound person, but I'll leave it at that. So what's the difference in the 20 and the 6,800?
Yeah, wireless versus wired.
Okay.
That's a big part.
But both include like the system for y'all?
Both would include, the push-to-talk microphones with the gooseneck, the little thin gooseneck
Okay.
microphone.
I would recommend that y'all do probably the bottom one then.
Okay. Danielle, do you have a question?
So are we still going to keep these mics or a portable mic
For
for
backups.
ADA purposes, because the last meeting or the meeting before last, we had some people that we had to bring the mic to that could not get up to the podium.
That is something I did not think through. That's a good point. But if you go with proposal 2, that mic stays the same. So yeah,
can be
it could still be pulled off of its adjustable stand. That's the only thing that would be changing is the stand there. That's a good question.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no, okay. All right, do we have any recommendations then?
I make a motion that we accept proposal 2 for the Azbel Electronics for a hardwired gooseneck system with push-to-talk that includes adjustable base for podium mic.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Prater made a second. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number 13, speed bump on 4th Street. Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action on the implementation of speed calming measures for 4th Street, review of recently commissioned citizens survey results. All right?
Mayor, Council, thank you so much. This was an opportunity that y'all allowed me to get to engage with our citizens a little bit on an issue. So it was pretty cool. We sent out anywhere from, Pam probably remembers this better, I should have taken note, anywhere from 20 to 40 surveys, I think, over on 4th Street.
Was that about right?
4th Street,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, somewhere in there, right?
it was somewhere around 25.
25? Okay. We did receive 12 responses back. The question that we posed primarily was, do you believe there's a consistent and reoccurring speeding issue on 4th Street? You can see there we have some mixed results, but the majority did go to the yes and to the affirmative. And then we also asked, here are some possible solutions that council is going to be considering. Which one sounds the most appealing to you? So we did not throw in the please check one box. We allowed them to select any and all they thought would serve the purpose the best. And so the numbers will not add up to the 12 that we received, but you can see that as a total, the more traffic enforcement definitely hit the largest percentage of that pie, with the speed bump being the second, and right behind that, the speed hump, which we described as essentially a speed bump, but more gradual in nature. I think we all know the parking lots, or if you're not watching where you're going and how fast you're going, you hit it, and it really gives you good jostling. The speed hump allows you to slowly go over it, but you still have to slow down for it, for sure. So for council's consideration on this one, oh, I did get the numbers in there, 27 and 12. Okay, wow, totally forgot about that. We would need to order some signs and poles to inform our motorists of the speed mitigating device, should we choose to go forward with that one. And the cost estimate here is going to be anywhere from $500 to $1,500, and we would utilize that street repair line item.
Mr. Prater?
I was the one that asked about contacting the citizens, but I don't think they knew it was going to be replacing 4th Street. You know, now that we got the sewer coming in, I think it'd just be a waste of money if we went with more enforcement at this point. I think because if we put up speed bumps now, it's just a waste of money because they're going to tear them all up, putting in a sewer. I think the main one was more speed enforcement. But it's all right with everybody. I just make a recommendation to go with more speed enforcement at this time.
I agree.
Okay, all right. So your recommendation?
I'll
your
make a motion to go with more speed enforcement.
Okay.
I'll second
All
it.
right. All in favor? Unanimous, okay, sounds great. All right, number 14, fence upgrade. Friendly Oaks well site. Council to discuss, consider, and probably take action to approve a quote by Syntex Fence for upgrades to the Friendly Oaks well site located at 588 Old Bethany Road in Bruceville, Texas, 76630, in the amount not to exceed $4,500. Ken?
Mayor, thank you. This is our final agenda item for the evening. This was requested by council to be bumped up a little bit sooner than expected. We had been planning for this for next fiscal year. However, at Friendly Oaks, with some of the electrical upgrades we did, we had to install a brand-new state-of-the-art electrical rack next to the pole. Well, this is outside of our current physical barrier. And so what we got a quote from for Syntex was for a 20-foot extension of that enclosure at Friendly Oaks in the amount of $43.21. This was from a couple months ago, so I am going to be requesting a not to exceed amount of just a little bit more, just to give us a little bit of buffer room here. But this provides physical security to these newly installed electrical racks, and it also gives us a little bit additional perimeter space should we need to expand our reservoirs in the future, maybe install a new ground storage tank or a new pneumatic tank. We'll already have that portion enclosed, so that's something to keep in mind. This would also require us to go over that budget amount for the year and would require an amendment at the end of the year.
Okay, all right. Any questions and motion? Okay, Mr. Wiggins? Oh, Gene?
Do you have the other pictures that I sent you with the, showing the rack and everything outside the fence?
I don't have them loaded up for this.
Okay, and I
no,
don't
sir.
have them on my phone. But that, I brought that up after we had that rack and everything built, and we were waiting for the next physical year. And that's why, you know, it wasn't, we didn't push it. We put padlocks on each box, so they couldn't be turned on, they couldn't be opened, and they'll stay on there once we move the fence, but we had to do something to make sure nobody can get into them.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Gene. Mr. Wiggins?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve a quote by Syntex Fence for upgrades to the Friendly Oaks well site in an amount not to exceed $4,500.
I'll second.
Mr. Prater? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Number 15.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Prater.
And I second.
All right, Joyce, all right. All right, it is now 6:57, and this council meeting is adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So turn off your mics.